So somewhere along here, you're going to see something. That's one on site, right?
Yep.
That's it.
That's one.
The lens beam.
It's red.
The reason that
So
somebody
that's another warning from before. Oh, 89% Western Street. I think this is from before. Well, anyways, I don't want to, because it's always
There it is.
coherent, right? FDA is recommending. Now, if you think that, oh yeah, I know this all, you just hide it and the system remembers it, you shouldn't, it wouldn't post it to you, it just takes up space, right? But the idea is that you would get that warning, and better still, you're helping all your trusted friends getting the same warning.
Is the hide button working?
The high button,
Yeah, because I couldn't get it to work.
it worked and it didn't work, I don't know, I have to get Jay down and come on, get it all fixed up. But yeah, it's supposed to work. The construct is there, and there's a table to store, you know, your favorite, what you want to hide.
And with the more, does it automatically decide, you know, just a small section? Like some of them gave the more button and some don't.
Yeah. The RS3 gives you that interface, it limits the width, otherwise you cannot display so many warnings. But this is a test patient, obviously has unusually amount, the number of medications. Okay, so this is one way of helping yourself remember the warning. Now there are other ways, and I'm just going to show you very quickly, and I won't be able to do it right, because I want to actually say, you know, because that warning didn't take into account age and whatnot. I want it to be really good at this. And I will do, I'll take an example of one of these. That's the easiest, by the way, is always copy and paste. What David Page was saying, you know, because you know, trust me, it's hard to kind of write these things from scratch without running into like a missing comma, missing this, you know, a little syntax error. So I copy this, and I'm going to create a new guideline, and I will say Cyprexa in, okay? And then I'm going to stop with that. But here, I'm going to start doing things like, okay, I want to make sure that the age limit is there. I kind of feel bad because it didn't have age on it. But you get the idea. Oh, there's an age here. Age is all, right? So there's a syntax that says age is greater than, you know, 13, under 18. So you get the idea that this is not something that you would just do standing here in a minute. So you want to actually construct it right. And so what happens is when you create a guideline, it will give the warning, which includes a reference so that people can actually use. Now, what happens when you use a warning like this in the real situation? Now, this particular patient may not have that. Let me just give you another patient. Now, if you look at each patient's chart, you find that the patient, you know, has all kinds of conditions. And then there's this little section that you don't get. But in the new system, you get it. It's called Decision Support Alert. And the interface is not very pretty. I think Cam was trying to point out that this is the kind of stuff that we're going to try to make it look a little bit better. But you see what happens is this thing here is that this patient is, you know, considered Plavix. You know why? Because those guidelines have been pulled down into your chart. And it's not analyzing your patient to tell you what you should consider. Okay, so it's going beyond just single drug warning, drug-to-drug interaction. It's going beyond all that. And if you want to understand, well, how come that new one that I just did didn't show up? Well, that new one didn't show up because you need to actually, when you lock up and lock back in, it actually suck all the guidelines into memory. So that's why it's fast. Otherwise, you can imagine every time it has to go over the latest. So I have to lock out, lock back in. That new one would have shown up. But you can see that here, it would actually look through the products. You know, it will tell you that these are the conditions, and you pass this, and you don't pass that. So you see all the conditions that we passed before a warning message would come up. Have I lost all of you yet? So the whole idea of constructing much more elaborate, I call it a guideline, maybe it's a bad term, but the idea of decision support that goes beyond just the drug, and you can start looking at whether the person is currently taking the drug, is not allergic to the drug, and you can do all kinds of stuff that are like that by writing this little XML script, which I think Joe earlier in the morning showed you how the billing decision support code is similar. These are talk XML decision support. Now I saw one hand, but let me show you one last thing about let's say I'm trying to prescribe this to this test patient. And for the life of me, I can't remember what drug I should use for, let's say, pneumonia. Okay, it's not a drug. So you would say, give me a drug of choice. Look up my drug rep, myself, and all my friends, and see what they have to say. And in this case, wow.
Untrust.
I don't know if this particular ATC code is translated incorrectly or not. It's like technical disinfecting. More work. That's why we need class 2 device certification. But the idea is that you think, okay, this would be the drug of choice. Okay, you click it, and it comes in here, and then in theory you can just find the drug and you prescribe. So, but those treatment of choice is something you can actually write. And the idea is that, like Wikipedia, you're supposed to improve on it. But I think whatever they did, they had the ATC code not wrong. Okay, so I think I've covered more or less all of the things you need to know.
How do you get an account?
Huh?
Get an account. How do you get an account?
Oh, yes. You need to have a friend. Who is a
trusted friend?
So Tom's up as an account. So I have an account, there are a whole bunch of people that have an account. The last thing is that I won't be able to show you because these are all private stuff. But I have about 600 patients who have a personal health record. Now, if you're interested in that area, you've got to come to the workshop tomorrow because it's just not possible to talk about it with justice. But I mean, it dovetails into all the things about privacy stuff, all of those things that we have created from the ground up. A record for the patient. Patient has total control over that record. Okay? It's not designed for data mining, none of that stuff. In fact, the patient can decide where to put that Oscar record. And it's the patient's decision to switch on sharing with you if the patient thinks that you're going to be helpful by looking at a portion of that record. It's under the patient's total control. Now, I have about 600 patients, and I tell you, we have secure messaging, and now we're designing so the patient can make appointments. They easily get a copy of the record if they have an account. For example, I can show you how easy it is. If they have just had a test, okay, and they say, can you send me a copy of that? Now, because I know this patient has a test account. Oh, okay, you want, well, actually, this one is a bad example, because all the new ones, there will be a little box there. You check the box, and you hit the button, that would be, the record is securely packaged and shipped to the patient. And that becomes patient ownership. Ownership. It's not the patient. Similarly, you want the patient to have a current drug profile because the patient has a mild. In the old interface, the button is right there. Okay, there's something missing here. Okay, it would have said send to patient. Oh no, here, send to my Oscar. So if I hit that. That's because it's another application. I only have to sign in once. Log in and sign out. So that patient's medication profile is now safely in the hands of the patient. Okay, so these are the two things that you may not know about Oscar that I thought would be helpful just to show you the way it happened.
David,